Hello and welcome to Night at the Game Table. We're here at Pat's Games in Austin, Texas, where tonight we're doing a draft guide. Aryeh, what's on the show tonight?
Well, we've got Izzet Pick or Pass for Guilds of Ravnica Draft.
To keep up to date with everything at Night at the Game Table, all you have to do is click subscribe and then hit that tiny little notification button next to it, so every time we upload a new video, YouTube will be sure to let you know.
Okay, Aryeh, let's start with the mythics. Ral, Izzet Viceroy?
Well, obviously a pick. Planeswalkers Unlimited are historically amazing, and this one is no different. I mean, draws cards, destroys things. It does everything basically that you want, so yes, I will take it, yes.
Okay, sounds pretty good. All right, how about the other mythic, the 1,000-Year Storm?
I'm going to go with one of our great puns we like around here. You might be able to draft a deck for this card once every 1,000 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit niche. Just a touch.
Maybe, I'm going to say,
Okay, how many spells would you need, good spells, would you need in your limited deck for this to be good?
17.
What about the Steam Vents?
I think it's good. More of the 3 and 4 color decks in the format usually play blue, so sometimes you would take Steam Vents over like a Radical Idea, but you wouldn't necessarily first pick it.
Okay. Moving on to the next rare, we've got Niv-Mizzet Parun.
Niv-Mizzet is obviously very, very good. One of the best cards in Constructed, I think, in Standard, and very, very strong in Draft. I will say that given its mana cost, it's a little prohibitive to splashing. It's not impossible, but you really want to be in a 2-color deck because triple is...
that's a hard spell to cast.
It's a little tough to cast.
Even when you get to 6 lands, you're not necessarily going to be cast here all
the
time, are you?
Yeah. What makes it tough is that in order to get enough sources, you have to play Gates, but then those come into play tapped, and it's a 6-drop. So it's very, very good. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying when you have Niv-Mizzet in your deck, just kind of keep that in mind with your mana base.
Alrighty. What about the Firemind's Research?
Firemind's Research, I have tried to make it work. I think it could. I'm going to call it actually a pick. It's a speculative pick because it's only going to work in certain Izzet decks, but I feel like the power level is there. And it needs a little bit of building around, but I'm going to say if I had like some kind of Murmuring Mystic type deck, I would probably play it. So I'm going to say yes, pick. Okay.
Ionize.
Ionize is a pass. I mean, you have like Sinister Sabotage as an uncommon that's basically the same thing. So it's not really a card you need to prioritize. Would you play it in your Izzet deck if you get it late in a draft? I think most of the time you will. It's a counter spell, and it's a spell, which matters the most. So I'll say pass it, but play it in Izzet.
Okay. Expansion Explosion.
This is a pick. Expansion Explosion is very powerful in Constructed and even better in Limited, where the games that drag out, the chances of you hitting for like 6 or 7 or something are just like, it's very possible to do, and you almost never lose when you do. The fact that it's a removal spell as well means like you get their biggest thing and then draw 6 or 7. I mean, it's just over. Obviously, it's not at its best against other like fast decks, but the thing is, it has its other ability as well, where it can copy something. So against like a Boros deck, they remove your wall. You can like copy that, remove their creature as well. So the card's just flexible. It's powerful. I want it. Pick.
Very nice. On to the uncommons. What would you say to a Wee Dragonaut?
I think Wee Dragonaut is a huge pick. I love this card. The Izzet deck is, when you're drafting it, is very common to get all the spells, all the Radical Ideas, and all of that stuff. Like Gravatic Punch if you want it. Like, it's easy to get all that stuff. What's hard to get are the cards that actually are the payoff cards for those spells. And Wee Dragonauts is one of the best. It just hits for a ton of damage, especially given that you can play Radical Idea twice in a turn very easily, things like that. It's not that hard to get it up to 7 power or something of that nature pretty routinely. So I like it. I think I'm going to call it a pick.
Nice. Beacon Bolt.
Beacon Bolt is a pick. It is a card that can get stranded in your hand sometimes and not really kill anything. It's especially can be weak against Boros, where on turn 3 it can't kill their 2/2, and sometimes it even can't kill their 1/1. But that being said, it's a flexible card. It's a late game card. It's a removal spell. I mean, you're always going to take it and play it, and just hope that Boros doesn't run you over before it's relevant. So
All right.
I'll pick it.
Pick on that. The League Guildmage.
Lead Guild Mage is a pick, but it is similar to Beacon Bolt in that against very aggressive other decks, sometimes it just has to trade or block. It's always a little bit of a shame to trade because if it goes to the late game with this card, you are so heavily favored because you can either draw cards or just copy your best spell. But, you know, against like a Boros deck, they're kind of designed to not let you do that. So what ends up happening is it ends up trading or blocking. But I think you still take them high, and in the games that do drag out, like like Dimir versus Izzet, in those games it's like incredible.
Nice. Okay, the Beam Splitter Mage.
Beam Splitter Mage is a pass because you can always get them. Like I've gotten it literally last in a pack, like actual after like a land, like last before. And I don't know why. I mean, the card's very, very good. It's very niche. You need to have a very aggressive Izzet deck that's playing cards like Sure Strike. But in those decks, the card's very powerful. So I'm going to say pass it, but play it.
Okay. Invert Invent.
This is a huge pick. Being on the other side of this card when you have like an electrostatic field and an 0/5 Wall of Mist, and they kill all your stuff by inverting their power, which has happened to me more than once. It's pretty bad, yeah. So it's pretty good. It's a good combat trick to like flip things, and then also sometimes you actually do use the sort of like like demonic tutor thing. It is 6 mana, which is a lot, but in a slow deck where both people are playing blue, you can end of turn it, get 2 things, and it's pretty routine to like win the game after that point. So it's again just very similar to the other split card for Izzet. It's just very flexible.
Nice. All right, the Crackling Drake.
Crackling Drake's a pick. I mean, it's in a similar place with Reed Dragonaut. They're pretty similar cards. The same deck wants to play as many copies of both as it can, and drawing a card is never bad, right?
Never bad.
No.
Okay. The Izzet Locket.
I like Izzet Locket quite a bit. It is one of the lockets that I think you prioritize for the 3 or 4 color control. Just because red often isn't a main color, but you might be playing a few red cards, and this gets you there, and it allows you to draw the cards with blue mana, which is usually what you have the most of.
Okay, sounds good. How about the Guild Gate for Izzet?
I think it's a pick for a similar reason to the Locket. Like, a lot of the time, the blue decks end up going into a 3rd color for some power level, and so mana fixing is very important in those decks. So I often take that Guild Gate pretty high.
Alrighty. The Hypothesizzle.
The Hypothesizzle, I think, is actually one of the best commons in the set.
It's certainly one of the best names.
It has the best name in the set, let's be honest. Nothing comes close. Like, the name is incredible. But the card is also very good. I mean, the fact that it is like a draw to kill something is great. You do get sometimes into awkward situations where you have to discard a spell and like sometimes you don't want to, or you have something that's really good. Yeah. But it kind of like balances out with like discarding a jumpstart thing you just play anyway. So I think it's a great card, great common, one of the best. Pick them up, play them.
Okay, on to another 2 mana 2/2. We've got the Goblin Electromancer.
Goblin Electromancer, a pick. It's great in standard, great in modern. No surprise, great in limited.
Alrighty then. The Piston Fist Cyclops.
Piston Fist Cyclops is a pick. It is important in these Izzet decks to have cards that impact the board. It's always easy to get all kinds of spells, but it's really those creatures that you have to prioritize in draft just to make sure you don't get run over by aggro. And the Cyclops has the added bonus of attacking for 4 pretty much anytime you want in Izzet. Like, it says you can't attack sometimes, but like, let's be honest, you can always attack.
Sure. Not hard to cast a spell in Izzet deck.
It is not.
All right, and finally, a card with Minotaur in the art. It's the Sonic Assault.
Sonic Assault I actually love. It is the card that I most undervalued in this set before playing with it. Because you look at it and you're just like, this is like some weird falter, like who cares? But it turns out that being able to dome them for 4 on top of this effect is just, that's really what makes the difference. Nice. There are a lot of very aggressive Izzet decks that don't play all the late game stuff. They kind of go for this like very aggressive starts. And with, like, for example, Piston Fist Cyclops, right? Like, your opponent plays a 2-drop, you're on the play, you play the Cyclops, they, like, attack to, like, bluff some pump spell, you're like, take it. They play a guy, you, like, tap it, attack them. It's like they're way behind now. and they know that you have the Sonic Assault in your graveyard to use again. So
they
now
have to-
all of their attacking and blocking has to go around this thing. So the card is very innocuous looking, but like takes over games, and I think you can win a ton of games with this card. I would take it relatively high, believe it or not, and play like 2 to 3 copies in a very aggressive deck.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
Okay then, that brings us to the end of the Izzet cards. Well, that's been pick or pass for the Izzet cards in Guilds of Ravnica. Aryeh, thank you once again for your expertise.
Yeah, it was fun.
And if you have enjoyed this video, then please feel free to click subscribe down below to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We put out content like this on a regular basis, plus a deck clinic and gameplay videos of the latest decks and new releases. Thank you, and we'll see you again very soon on Nights at the Game Table.